James Daniels joins Devon Bush in making unfortunate remarks, and Mike Tomlin decides it's time to get angry with this offensive line. Hello and welcome to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate with me, your host, Britsburgh, Owen, your voice from across the pond, your UK Steelers view. And today we're going to be talking about not only the remarks that James Daniels made, but also the Steelers' underperforming offensive line. And where should we start? Where should we start with the Steelers' underperforming offensive line? Well, after they stank the joint out in Jacksonville at the weekend, Mike Tomlin decided it was time to get angry. From all reports coming out of training camp, more from the UPMC Rooney facility yesterday, Monday, was that Coach Mike Tomlin went into the offensive line room, the actual offensive line classroom where the offensive line were gathered, and properly lost his rag is a UK term for losing your temper. Lost his temper with the underperforming offensive line and pretty much called them all out. However, in particular, he singled out this man, Kendrick Green, who had an absolutely dreadful performance on Saturday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kendrick Green seemed determined to prove on Saturday that he is a worse guard than he actually is a centre. On a number of occasions, he absolutely got bull rushed, he got shoved, he blocked thin air, he got turned round, he got beaten, leaving both Kenny Pickett and also Mitchell Trubisky under a great amount of pressure due to him missing blocks. Here in this picture here that I've circled here is him getting bull rushed and shoved all the way back. Watching the video clip from the start, the Jags defensive lineman shoves Green virtually all the way back into Kenny Pickett. That's how physical that Jags offensive lineman was and how weak Kendrick Green was. Green seems to be suffering from a lack of height and a lack of arm length in terms of being able to stand up to these opposition defensive linemen. Which is sometimes not always a bad thing. A guard doesn't have to be massive and huge like a tackle. A tackle is usually somewhere between 6'4", 6'7", 6'8", listening to what Ramon Foster was saying today on the Ramon Foster show. Green is, even though it says 6'4", probably more like 6'1", but he does not have the skill set or the technique in place to be able to make him a good guard. He just does not have the ability or the talent at this moment in time to battle for that left guard spot. Obviously, there is an ongoing battle between these two players for that starting left guard spot. Kevin Dotson, who seems to be perennially injured, and the underperforming Green. During an interview yesterday at Steelers training facility on the south side, Mike Tomlin was asked, has it been decided yet who will play left guard week 1 against the Bengals? And he said that would not be a decision that would not be made until after the last preseason game against the Detroit Lions on Sunday. So, as we can see, there is a worrisome side to that left guard position. That impacted, of course, this man who had a very, very poor game. Many people described him as playing like a turnstile on Saturday and him being beaten, not just inside, but outside, players coming round him, beating him, ragdolling him, and just leaving him for dead. But I think obviously what must have affected Dan more is the lack of confidence of playing alongside Green, and the fact that when Dodson came in, although he gave good pass protection grades, his run blocking was very poorly rated by PFF. Dan Moore was clearly suffering there, in my opinion, from having to play alongside these two and worrying about what was going to be coming through the interior of the Steelers' offensive line. Now, James Daniels, who is the Steelers' right guard, who was signed in free agency from the Chicago Bears, who was rated as a top 20 prospect by Bucky Brooks, has so far failed to live up to the expectations that were expected of him. He was expected to come in, be a leader, be the lockdown right guard, and be the outstanding player, not only leader on the offensive line. However, in these 2 games so far, there seems to have been a real lack of effort from Daniels. He's given up sacks, he's been beaten easily, and has not played well. So what was his response to this? This is what he said: "I don't peak in August." What an unfortunate remark to make. It seems that he's been taking lessons from the Devon Bush school of interviews and making daft remarks. What might have been more helpful, Mr. Daniels, is if you'd made a remark, something along the lines of, well, I haven't played well in these first 2 games, but I'm going to keep on working hard and keep on improving to show the best of me in the next preseason game, or something along those lines. Guys, I'm not football player. You know, I'm not used to being interviewed by the NFL media, but I'm sure you could come up with a lot better statement than that. Mason Cole, the centre, has been so far probably the best offensive lineman, which, you know, is not really a massive statement, is it, being the best on the Steelers offensive line? But he's done a solid job as starting centre and has been putting without blame, probably the one player on the line who has been without blame. Chooks at times has looked passive and has been beaten as well. And it seemed on Saturday there was a situation where the Steelers offensive line had 4 out of 5 players doing the right thing, but 1 player doing the wrong thing, or 3 players doing the right thing and 2 players doing the wrong thing. And that caused the pressure to come on to the starting quarterback, whether that was Pickett or whether that was Trubisky in that first half, when the Jags, we had their full strength defense out. Obviously, a lot of pressure is going to fall on these two gentlemen, offensive line coach Pat Meyer and assistant offensive line coach Isaac Williams. Now, Steelers players who were interviewed yesterday at the training facility talked a lot about technique and aggression when they were interviewed, and the need to develop their technique further and to work on that technique to improve their pass protection and their run blocking. This is something that Meyer and Williams are going to have to work exceptionally hard on this week to improve in the Steelers offensive line to give a better showing against the Detroit Lions on Sunday. The Lions do have some pretty dangerous pass rushers. For example, first-year rookie Aiden Hutchinson, who has impressed so far in the preseason. If we look at the Steelers' offensive line depth as it is at present, you have listed at the moment, this is from ESPN, Dan Moore Jr. as starting left tackle, Kevin Dotson, who is questionable at the moment due to that ongoing ankle issue, did play Saturday, but still has that ankle issue apparently. Centre Mason Cole, right guard James Daniels, who has not played well at all, and right tackle Chukwuma Okorafor. But if you look at the second string, you've got Joe Haig, Kendrick Green, JC Hassenauer, John LeGlue, Trent Scott. Scott has not impressed at all. LeGlue did not play well at right guard when he came on. Kendrick Green, we've talked about, pretty much stinking the joint out. Joe Haig apparently has been quite impressive and done very, very well in practice. Could he be an option to move into one of the tackle positions? Chaz Green really has not done anything yet, and he's probably a candidate for a cut this Tuesday today. Ryan McCullum, the centre they signed, again, is too early to see what he's going to bring. And the signing that was made yesterday, which I dropped a video on Britsburgh going on Adrian Ely, I think is just basically someone to make up the numbers, having bounced around 6 or 7 practice squads in his career and never having taken an NFL snap. Now, what do the Pittsburgh Steelers do to help Pat Meyer and Isaac Williams turn this line around? Now, is it time to panic? Probably not. It's early days yet. We're still in August. There's still time in preseason to work with these offensive linemen and get them better. Now, I've heard a rumor today regarding this man, Isaiah Wynn of the New England Patriots. Isaiah Wynn was a first-round draft pick back in 2018. Wynn has had, however, injury issues in his time in New England. He played 10 games in his first season. I believe it was 12 games in his second season and 16 in last season. Wynn is a good offensive tackle. He, however, is a bit small for a tackle. He's 6'3", so that is not within that range for a tackle. You like a tackle to be around about 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". Dan Moore, for example, is 6'5". So Isaiah Wynn is one that has been talked about as a possibility. Obviously, the caveat you put on this is the fact that Isaiah Wynn is in the last year of his rookie deal and would demand a cap hit of $10 million if a deal was not restructured and it turned more long-term and money was moved around, or it was moved into signing bonuses or some way of Omar Khan's financial wizardry. In addition to that, what would the New England Patriots want for a player like Wynn? And have the Steelers got enough draft capital to gamble with, given the fact that they have only got 6 draft picks in the 2023 draft? My personal belief is that we really hopefully do not want to look like this on Sunday like we did on Saturday. This was certainly me on Saturday looking at the offensive line. Sorry, just a little joke there. But we need to make some drastic improvements to this offensive line. The Steelers really do need to work with this offensive line to make it a whole lot better. They really do need Kevin Dotson to step up and play to his potential. They need Dan Moore to go back to how he was looking towards the end of last season. Mason Cole needs to continue to maintain his solidity as a centre. And we need to see James Daniels forget these stupid remarks that he's made, I don't peak in August, and go on to show that he is the guard we thought he was when he signed from the Bears. And Chooks needs to carry on being solid. I think that's the best we can hope for from Chooks. It's probably too late in the day to bring in anyone who's going to come onto this offensive line now. Someone like Isaiah Wynn or Eric Fisher or JC Tretter. It's maybe too late now in the day to bring someone in like that. Maybe a solid depth piece to go behind them. Maybe someone that could be brought in after camp cutdowns from other teams. However, other insiders like Dejan Kovacevic, who said today the Steelers need to bring in a rah-rah leader to take leadership of this offensive line. So there's so many opinions out there, but there does seem to be a great deal of panic and a great deal of worry about this Steelers offensive line going into the 2022 season. Anyway, sorry for the slightly longer video today. If you've enjoyed the content, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. Pittsburgh Steelers fans, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the offensive line? How can we improve it? How can we get it better? And can we get away from this? Personally, in my opinion, Kendrick Green is done with the Steelers. I really do not rate him anymore. I think, like I said, Kevin Dotson has got to step up now. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. And I will speak to you again really soon here on the Syndicate. And let's finish this as we always do. Here we go, Steelers. Come on!